Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome into the Real Monica Adams Show. Time for a little inspiration and a little motivation to get you from where you are right now to truly thriving. I told you we were going to interact today. So I tell you what, I would highly recommend that you get a journal, I don't care if it's a scratch pad, I don't care if it's a little tiny piece of paper, something that can transfer your thoughts today out of self-doubt, out of isolation, out of depression, out of thinking that you shouldn't succeed, to the best step forward in life that you've ever had. All right, let's do that together. And we're going to break down, what does success look like? Why do you think others around you are successful? Why do you think you haven't gotten there yet? I believe it hasn't been your time. If you can take that process in your brain and take it forward to saying, yeah, it's my time. Now is my time. You got to believe that. And you got to start surrounding yourself with others that are going to take you to that path. So we're going to do that today. And then I'm also going to ask you if there's anything from the fitness side of the whole triangle of life theory that I talk about that you would like for me to help you with. So we're going to start scribbling down and making up more and more motivation with Monica. We used to do this a lot in television, and every week, two things would happen. You would tell me what you wanted to see the next day. You also would send in videos of you and your family working out, and you as parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, showing as a role model how important mind, body, soul connections are. So we're going to start things like that. Again, if you want to shoot me emails, info@TheRealMonicaAdams.com from all over the world. I would love to see all of us taking our health seriously. So I'd love to see your family working out together. I don't care if it's yoga, Pilates, calisthenics, if it's lifting weights together, if it's going for jogs, runs, just film that, get a little clip for me, maybe 10, 15-second clip, and shoot that over to me and my team. And we'll start incorporating you and showcasing our community really bonding together and making a difference in the world of health and fitness. As you can see on the bottom, we can help you. You got to let us into that path, though, mentally, physically, spiritually. Yes, personal training, life coaching. People have a tendency to make that decision as we get into the holidays and into December. And then all of a sudden, New Year's resolutions come around. You put so much pressure on yourself, though, every year for New Year's resolutions. Why don't you start early? That means a little more organization, a little more preparation, putting the mind forward first, and then saying the body's going to follow, the spirit will follow. I know this is going to happen. If it has tried to happen for you in the past and hasn't, well, maybe this will finally be your time. Maybe you needed us in your life. Do us a favor and share the show. Let everyone know that this is what we're here for. This is every single day. We're here for you. You're showing up, but let's really show up in life, right? Success comes by believing and showing up. And that's what we're going to do together. So share, like, and follow. Our live streams, by the way, are every morning, Monday through Friday. If you're new to the show, we are on Facebook, we are on YouTube, Rumble, X, and Instagram. So good morning to all of you. Good morning to Sean and Linda and Kathy and Kathleen. Hannah, good morning. Julie Purcell. So Hannah is at home moderating for us today. She's done a great job with some audio editing. And today, another wonderful show will drop for you at 8 a.m. So you get your fill of the video side of the talk show. And then if you want to go and run some errands, remember, one earbud in and keep the other one so that you're safe going for a walk. Enjoy the beautiful weather. Let's go ahead and give that to you this morning. Here is your 10-day forecast today. And by the way, if you look outside, you're going to see the gorgeous moon. And I do mean it's incredible. For the last couple of days, I've been talking about how amazing this moon looks as we are into fall. Still a possibility, depending on where you are, of this AM freeze or frost. Some of you right around freezing, could be dipped a little bit below that. If you're out of our immediate area, just bear with me for just a second. We're taking a look at our locals, St. Louis, Missouri, Illinois, 68 degrees for our immediate area for the high today. So it's really beautiful. Yesterday was a little chilly, into the low 40s tonight. And then look at the weekend, 72, 74, 77, and complete sunshine Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The lows still be a little bit of a wake-up call, the low to mid 40s. Monday, 77. We get up warm on Tuesday when there's finally a slight chance of rain coming back. 78 with clouds, and then 75 on Wednesday, 70 for next Thursday, Friday, and into Saturday, 74 again. So if you haven't been planning those outside activities, start doing so. I can guarantee I'm going to get the text message from my husband saying, hey, I saw your forecast. Can we go for a motorcycle ride? Yes. And I did see this morning, I caught a story about all the different states that do not have the laws for motorcycle riders to wear helmets. And they're showing more and more and more. Now, this might be a controversial thing that I'm going to talk about here, but they're showing more and more deaths from motorcycles. And if those particular states, they believe, had them wearing helmets, that those lives would have been saved. They would have maybe had injuries, but not completely either brain trauma or dying from that. What are your thoughts on it? Because my husband is a rider. I actually bought him a Harley for his wedding gift back in 2015. But from day one, we both said commitment to each other, absolutely wearing helmets. Nobody getting on the bike that doesn't wear a helmet. And I know a lot of you, when the state of Missouri released the helmet law, you were all excited about that. That doesn't make sense to me. I was actually taught this from a dear friend of mine that said, what the helmet looks like shows just how important you think your brain is. And I thought, okay, that one's going to stick with me. And this is a guy who's been riding forever. He worked for a Harley Davidson dealership. And I took that and moved forward every single day. I believe that. Okay, now we're going to probably get controversial here for the people who are motorcycle riders. What are your thoughts on it? Do you or others not wear the helmet? And if so, why? Do you think it's a control thing? No, it's really smart. It's the same thing with riding a bicycle. Do you wear a helmet when you're riding a bike? I mean, look at the injuries that take place when you don't do that. Good morning, Ron, and good morning, Stephanie. Good morning to Julie. Julie Fabian says, all the gear, all the time. I wear a full helmet. There you go. Who else? I'm going to look over here on Instagram for anybody that's popping on. Good morning to all of you. Good morning. That's Tessa behind me. And I came down here for a reason. I am in our great room, and right over my shoulder every single day is that word, blessed. And I feel blessed for each and every one of you being a part of the show. Remember, share the word. Today, we're going to really work together on this inspiration. I'm going to sprinkle in some news you can use. We've got some sports news as we get ready for a gorgeous football weekend, college football. And Mizzou is home, by the way. We'll talk about that in just a second. Good morning, Wayne. Who else is a motorcycle rider? Who else is actually the one doing the driving? Somebody asked me that in the past, like, have you ever thought of getting your own? No, I always want to be the passenger. And the other thing that I love is that Jim would not let me, Tessa, hey, no. Jim wouldn't let me on the bike, on the motorcycle, until he went through and did, went through all the, I didn't say the schooling, but there was a Harley Davidson classes, let's put it that way. Went through all of that and then would let me on the back. But that was probably, I don't know, several months before he did that. Same thing. Does anybody else just get a motorcycle, jump on, and just try to figure it out yourself? I think that's a dangerous way to go. So my viewpoints, love to know what you have to say. Again, if someone that you know is a motorcycle rider, I'd love for you to have them come on and explain to me why would you not want to have that law in effect? Again, it's the decisions that you make. Good morning, Tessa, right? Jen says. Julie says, I ride on the back. We have a 3-wheeler. I do want to learn how to drive it. Okay, the only reason I want to learn how to drive it is if, in fact, something happened. Somebody said, if the bike would go down, and let's say Jim got injured, which, hey, no, now that's Adelaide. Knock on wood, that would never happen. But if it did, they said you would probably want to know how to get it back up, or if you had to put him on, etc. I get that. I actually went through one class with him, but all the ones that they had after, I wasn't able to continue. So I knew a little bit, but I think it was more about the actual rules and the laws that are out there. Adelaide, no barking. There's no deer out there. Linda says helmets are so important. It's a necessity. I'm looking for someone to challenge that, by the way. So we don't want you to always agree with me. If you do, that's fine. But I'd really like to hear from someone. Or do you know someone? Like, it might not be you, but you can pass along. What in the world are you thinking about getting on it? And I've heard from other people like, I don't want anybody controlling me. A control thing, really? You don't want to protect your brain? I was told that you always dress, and I hate to even think this, but dress to go down. So meaning that you wear long sleeves, you're not wearing short sleeves, even when it's so hot. I struggled with that one. How many times do you go out and you always wear the leather? Tell me all those. So Linda says helmets are so important. It's a necessity. I have a cousin who was injured in a motorcycle accident and now has very limited vision. Also, another relative who suffered a brain injury and it now has affected his speech and some mobility, both from a state with no helmet law. Okay. Julie says exactly. If something happened. Jackie says, my husband told me early on, we dress for the slide and not the ride. Okay. It's the same thing. Oh, you just gave me a chill. So the same kind of a mindset, dress to go down. Dress for the slide and not the ride. Jeans, helmets, jackets, and closed shoes. Okay, thank you. Jackie, and where are you watching from, by the way? Jackie is on Facebook, but what area? I always love when I'm interacting with people where they're watching from. Julie says, some of the guys we ride with do not always wear helmets, but we do. Have they ever told you why, though, Julie? I want to know the mindset behind it. So yes, Jackie, going back to your closed shoes comment, I have seen girls, and look, I am one of the biggest people into fashion, right? You all know that if you have followed me for a while. Love fashion, everything about it. Speaking of which, let's just throw a little comment in there. See the know your value. And this is our merchandise. This is the beautiful pink that we have. We've got a gorgeous blue, a gorgeous black, all of our t-shirts. I'm repping it all today. You can get these, know your value, on our website, TheRealMonicaAdams.com. Dressing for success. We're going to talk about that in just a second. We're talking, by the way, if you're just tuning in, about the latest study that I just saw in the news this morning that said they do believe that if we could get more of the helmet laws back into place, that lives would be saved. And I want to hear what you're thinking. Okay, Julie, all right. She says they're stupid. All right, we won't do that. Jackie, watching from Oakville, thank you. Why in the world would you want to be on it? I want to know from someone. So we're going to stay with that for a bit. Or if you get a chance to text somebody that doesn't wear a helmet, just tell them. You don't have to get on necessarily. Monica would love to interact with you, but why does it happen? And I've heard from people in the past that they say they want to make the decision. They don't want someone controlling them. Okay, fine. But the same thing I'm asking is, from a motorcycle to, Julie said, I just don't understand. From a motorcycle to a bike. And some people say, I can see it in a motorcycle, but hopping on my bike, I don't need that. Well, I tell you what, I've seen so many. And I think if you would talk to a doctor about what they see in the ER, right? I will tell you that I have a dear friend who lost her sister. Okay, maybe this will change your mind. She lost her sister to a motorcycle accident, decapitated. Okay? Decapitated in a motorcycle accident. I have seen people who have tremendous brain trauma because they didn't have a helmet on. So I saw that this morning, just wanted to pass it along. News you can use for sure that maybe some of those laws will be changing in some states if they can push these forward. Somebody just has to get behind it and say, we got to change this. All right, so this is happening in our area and maybe in several states if you're watching outside of St. Louis. St. Louis area Walgreens closing as pharmacy chain is announcing 1,200 additional store closures nationwide. Now, I've seen this at a lot of stores that I will admit I haven't frequented in a while, but I'm always running into Walgreens. I didn't expect to see this one. According to a sign outside its door, the Walgreens location on South Broadway in South St. Louis is actually closing this November. Again, 1,200 locations across the country. St. Louis stores already facing this impact. Walgreens announcement Tuesday morning comes as rival CVS Health wraps up a 3-year plan. They're closing 900 stores, and Rite Aid in some areas emerges from bankruptcy. They whittled down to about 1,300 locations. Walgreens has not yet announced which stores will close, but says they will prioritize the poor performing stores. I'm telling you, as I see these stories and I pass these along to you, I'm a little fearful of what is actually going to last. We saw something the other day about Big Lots, and somebody said, I didn't even know Big Lots was still open. So that's the problem. I think too much online shopping, and I like to do these stories and interact with you and see what your thoughts are on it. Too many online shoppers, too many, having boxes delivered to the front step. Now, I'm not knocking anybody that uses Amazon, etc. My husband's like, he gets questions all the time of people saying, how many boxes show up at your front door? And he's like, none. I don't. And I think it's kind of silly. I pay for an Amazon Prime membership on an annual basis. I don't know why. That is wasted money. We don't even watch Amazon Prime much. Jim might watch a show here or there, but really don't use that Prime membership. So it's kind of silly to have. I do not use it for shopping with Amazon. I'm trying to keep stores from closing their doors like what we're seeing happening. So how many of you, if you can think about the percentage of you changing maybe in the last, let's just take the last 2 years? How much of your shopping has changed from in store to the convenience of dropping it off? How many of you do grocery shopping by online? How many of you do your regular shopping you would have done at Walmart, Walgreens, etc., whatever store you used to go to? How many of you now have that done for you and actually use the shopping convenience of it dropping off at your front door? I'm telling you, what I see happening is more and more stores closing, more and more jobs lost. I don't think it's a good thing. These are my viewpoints. So as we do the news you can use and talk about it, let me know your thoughts on it. So Julie says, I get a delivery every other day, probably. Is it your groceries? Is it your regular things like, stocking up on whatever necessities you need for the house? Is that what you do? And is it for the convenience? I've not hopped on board. Let me just put it that way. I haven't hopped on board. And I think it's because in my mindset, I just don't know that it's the best thing for us. I don't want to be the reason why people are losing jobs and why stores are having to close. That's my only thing. So weigh in as we do the news you can use. All right, Missouri preparing for the possibility of catastrophic earthquake with a drill, and it will take place today. So a heads up, if in fact you hear something that you're like, what the heck, is this the real deal? No, it's a drill. Because Missouri is home to the country's second most active fault line, state officials are encouraging Missourians to prepare for the possibility of a quake, and not just a regular quake, but a major quake. Missouri is the site of some of the largest earthquakes in U.S. history. The New Madrid Fault runs, hopefully you know this, through southeast Missouri. It produces a couple hundred small quakes yearly. Most of these cannot be felt, but in the 1800s, Missouri felt some of the most powerful earthquakes, damaging buildings as far as St. Louis, over 100 miles away. Your family or your workplace can sign up for the drill online. It's a yearly drill that happens the third Thursday in October. This year, it starts at 10:17, so exactly 3 hours from now. In the case of an earthquake, here's what you need to do. When the shaking starts, you'll want to get under a desk. You remember all this from school? Table, or another heavy piece of furniture. You want to make sure your head and your neck are covered and hold on for support. So again, 10:17 this morning. If you hear that, now you understand why. All right, before we get to the next story, I'm going to come back to more of your comments. Linda says, I hate that these pharmacies are closing. It's like they want you to do mail orders. Yeah, I'm losing faith in the Postal Service. Oh my gosh, can we just go there for a second? Somebody said they tried to send me something. She came back and said, is this definitely your address? Clear as day. That was my address. And she had to send it again. I also have somebody that's literally 5 minutes away from me, sent me something a week ago, still hasn't arrived. That makes me fearful. Yes, Linda, I'm glad you brought that up of what's happening with our post office. I'm losing faith, she says. Packages arriving late or to the wrong address. I want to get my drugs in person. Jackie says, my husband's been riding for 40 years and has always worn a helmet. He has a few friends that were injured because of no helmet. There we go. The conversations I've had with those that don't. Men don't because they feel it's freedom of choice. There it is. But my husband wears it. I mean, I want more people to be thinking. Yes, I think it is a lot of guys. I think more women are apt to wear a helmet. And that is not at all picking on men, but I think that's true. If we started doing our own studies, I would say it's more men. You would think almost women, wouldn't you, to say, I don't want to mess my hair up. No, I mean, just grab a cap, or I haven't done the bandana thing yet with my short hair. I don't think it really works, but I do grab a cap. So she says men don't because they feel it's freedom of choice, and ladies because it's not flattering for their hair. Oh, I should have read the rest of the sentence. Yeah, that's what I would think. Julie says convenience, but other people are getting jobs. Someone delivers it. Okay, I see that handoff. Stephanie, I usually shop. I have Target Circle and get free shipping. I get certain things on there cheaper. Yeah, let me know. I have not jumped on board that, so let me know. Jen, I get some stuff from Amazon, but refuse to use any food delivery. I'm cheap and would rather get my own items in the store so I can do quality control and check expiration dates. That's good. And you know what? The one time we did use it, they delivered it to our neighbor's house. I've sat there and was waiting, ended up saying it never came. And then they refunded all the money. And then all of a sudden, my neighbor goes, did you make a delivery for groceries? And I said, yes. And he goes, they're all sitting on our front porch. So we had to do all this transfer. And I had a bunch. I was like, oh, let's do a free for all. I won't do it again because so many things were wrong. And I don't know. I'm just old school. Truly old school. Kathy Holden Reed says Kohl's is starting self-checkout. Yep. Service is not like it was in the past at many places. I know. Everything's changing. Well, how about this? Do you want fries with that? Evidently, you're all saying no, or you're not even putting that as an extra. And I haven't been to a McDonald's and I don't even know how many years, like years. Well, French fry demand is dipping. I can't believe this because to me, the only reason I would go to McDonald's is for the French fries because I truly believe they have the best French fries ever. And that's it's going to have to be in my past brain somewhere because I haven't had it. So unless it's changed and the formula's changed and that's why you're not doing it, McDonald's top supplier is closing a plant and they cut, here we go, 4% of their workforce. The taste for French fries evidently has not vanished, but we are apparently cutting back. One of the largest in the world of frozen fries, McDonald's is its biggest customer, and they're seeing a dip in demand. So fast food customers are apparently skipping the French fries. Is that including you? Have you been to McDonald's in a while? Have you opted out? Or they're opting for smaller orders, and that dip in demand has led a major fry provider, McDonald's, to recently close one of its plants and cut jobs. Here we go again, talking about cutting jobs. So let's just be honest. How many of you, first of all, go to McDonald's on a regular basis or just here and there? Do you not get fries with your order because it's extra and we're all worried about the economy? Or are you making it smaller and not doing the larger fries? And let's go ahead and go with this. Who has the best French fries, right? Let's just have fun together. Before we get into success motivation, who has the best French fries? Is it McDonald's? Is it Chick-fil-A or is it another? I'm going to say Chick-fil-A because Chick-fil-A, if I'm going to go ahead and splurge on something fast food, I'm going to Chick-fil-A and I'm getting those waffle fries. I'm just saying. Joe says, as a small business owner, all right, here we go. That's who I wanted to listen to. I adopted the internet 20 years ago. Early on my website was a huge money loss, but about 5 to 6 years ago, that all changed. Okay. All right, Joe, we have seen online sales account for somewhere between 15 to 18% of total sales. That trend will continue. So for me, it's a double-edged issue. Yes, I use Amazon more and more because of convenience and good time management. All businesses evolve. The challenge is to figure out how to evolve with new technology. Such a good comment. Linda says, agree, the only thing good at McDonald's is the fries. No, Julie says Lion's Choice. Can't say I've ever had theirs. Michelle says, I'm a Tot fan. Okay. Stephanie says she loves Culver's. Who has the best French fries? That's what we're trying to find out here. Again, if I look back and I try to get my taste buds going, McDonald's has incredible French fries, unless they change their formula, which I don't know. But waffle fries at Chick-fil-A are to die for. Chick on fried. Kathy, what? Chick on fried. I don't know what that means. Jen says steak and shake fries. Yum. Stephanie says she loves Culver's. Kathy says my grandson was eating a Happy Meal this weekend. I was shocked how small. So now they're smaller. Everything has gotten smaller. My husband talked about how when he used to be in SWAT, he would get a Snickers bar and the thing was huge. I mean, do you remember all the candy bars used to be so big? And then he was so mad and he swore he would never buy a Snickers bar again when it came back and it was like that. They used to call it the Jim Quinton protein bar. That got him going, the Snickers bars. All right. Stephanie says she agrees with Michelle that she loves Tots as well. Used to think McDonald's fries, but they've gone downhill. Okay, what happened, Marilyn? Is the formula different? Because then this makes sense why people are opting out. So somebody says they agree with Lion's Choice. All right, I'm going to work out a little harder today. I might have to go get some French fries. Kathy, okay, Chick-fil-A. There we go. I do like a BK steak fry, Jackie says from Oakville. All right, if you're just tuning in, having a little fun with you in the news you can use, which I would like to do more of this, getting an opportunity to do a show, do a story, and then interact with you of what your thoughts are on this. I also want to give a shout out. I took my friend Janice last night. We went to the Stiefel Theater and we saw Shrek. Yes, my husband was cracking up and he's like, you're going to go see Shrek with all the kids? Well, I'll tell you what, there were a ton of couples that were there. There were people of all ages. Sure, there were parents or grandparents or aunts or uncles, whoever, godparents, taking their kids to see Shrek as well. But I'm going to tell you that I saw more people there without kids, or maybe at least even as I saw just with kids. So Shrek the musical is at Stiefel Theater, and you will absolutely love it. Hi, good morning. Love you as well, Jenny. Jackie says McDonald's is new Greece. Oh, they've got different Greece? Well, that would change it. So if you want to see Shrek, again, it is at the Stiefel Theater. And the guy who plays Shrek, he's got that voice nailed. I was wondering after he started singing, when he started doing the talking roles, would he have that same voice that we expect from Shrek? Yes. The guy who plays Donkey, very, very good. Fiona, Lord Farquaad, everything that you love about Shrek. Why, if you love the movie as an adult, why would you not go see it in person? So just a big shout out. I was really thrilled. The only thing I'm going to say, and I always want to be real because again, we're doing reviews here, is, and hopefully they work through the opening nights of this, opening night issues. There were a lot of audio, not distorted audio, just not firing the right person's microphone. So you'd hear the person to start to talk or try to sing, and their mic wasn't on. Their mic wasn't on. I was like, all right, I got to work through those bugs. That's usually opening night bugs. So I'm hoping that that gets fixed. So if you haven't seen Shrek is at Stifel Theater and your kids want to go see it. The kids loved it that I saw in front of me. In fact, the whole thing with the dragon, there was a kid in the audience that Janice laughed so hard and the kid just like pumped her fist in the air and she's like, yes, when the dragon did what she did. You know the movie, you love the movie, go see it. Shrek at Stifel Theater. Jackie says, sorry, a different grease formula. Well, that would make sense then. If you all caught on to that, then that would make sense why you're not using or why you're not getting French fries with the meals or why you're getting smaller ones. Marilyn says, is Jim needing a Snickers because he is Betty White? I love those commercials. Yes, hangry. Tammy Busad, how are you? So good to see you. I'd love to see some names from the past. Jenny, what is it with audio issues lately? I don't know. It was crazy, but again, I'm hoping that they are going to be able to work through that. All right, we've got more news you can use, and we're going to flip into the second half hour of where you are in your life right now. A lot of people want to use my many, many years of life coaching, personal training, director of wellness, the many different things that this brand still does, and we're ramping things up. Consulting. I'm consulting right now for people who are considering making a living or doing a side hustle in voice work. Voiceover. I did an introductory class and now those people have broken off into side private classes with me. I love what 2025 is bringing for us. All of it leading to success for all my team members, success for the brand, success for each and every one of you, because as we grow together, we are all becoming more successful in our lives. Do you want that? Do you feel that you believe that you deserve that? Because that's the biggest thing we're going to start with. We're going to do a couple more news you can use stories. We've got some sports news. I've got some entertainment news. It's not happy entertainment news, unfortunately, if you are a One Direction fan. All of that's still to come. Thanks for being with us. Don't go anywhere. The Real Monica Adams Show returns in just a minute.
One of our things we always say is we want everybody to leave with a smile.
Oh, and trust me, they do. I've seen a lot of smiles here today. There's so many levels of why you will love these ladies, but giving back to the community, supporting the community, collaborating with other businesses.
Base case. Now we give parameters here. Power walkers generally use incline.
Yeah, I know.
Go, girls, go.
Because you're not only getting some great local roasted coffee, you're getting good people.
Good people is what it's about. And by the way, that person who turned up their nose, karma is that you know what.
Everyone needs to be kind. And it starts really with the adults. And then it goes down because we're the ones that are instilling this in our children, in our families, and everything thereafter.
We are live on location. And this is a really cool thing. This is exactly what we can do from your business. We call it Mobile Monica. I'm always on the move. And let's move to your business. We'll talk about how we, and not only we can come to your business, but how the community can get paid for introducing us to a new business. Doesn't this look nice? You could have that in your backyard. You could have that in your oasis that you've built. These are the new spas that just came in to Just Pools, the pool and spa specialist, with those that have a pool and think, I want to do a little add-on, or those of you that say, I can't do a pool yet, but yes, I'd like to introduce that to my family. Why not? The beautiful pearl white that Just Pools has gotten in. Some really gorgeous marbling in the grays, the caramel. I like the caramel. I'm really drawn towards like more of the browns. Love fall, by the way. Fall into winter, best time for you to have a spa or, again, a hot tub. So right now, and until they are no longer on the shelves, there's 50% off all those fun toys. Everybody loves to lay down and lounge in those flotation devices, whatever you want. From a toy standpoint, from those big noodles, etc., those are 50% off while they last. And then 10% off if you have not closed your pool, 10% off the winterizing kit. Our friends are and have been big sponsors of the show for the last 5 months. Stop in and see them. And please, as I always say, support those that support us. Look at, oh, I love that one. Just Pools, the pool and spa specialist. They are located on the West Outer Road in Arnold. Stop by and tell them that you saw them on The Real Monica Adams Show. 7:30 on the nose. Welcome back again. Gorgeous forecast on tap for those of you in our immediate area. We're talking 70s and sunshine this weekend. You can't beat that. Getting out and enjoying festivals. I love this time of year. In fact, if you are a bourbon fan, a bourbon festival kicks off tomorrow. Tickets I saw the last time I looked still available for this. My husband's like, can we go to that? He's a big bourbon fan. I'm the wine fan. He said that at these festivals, they also have wine. So we'll see. Anyway, I know about 2 or 3 days ago when I looked that there were still tickets. I can't promise you that there still are. I would say the VIP, and I was surprised by this because I know people are watching their money, but the big VIP packages are what I saw that was sold out. And I mean the priciest ones. Probably because they're getting some really good bourbon with that. But the St. Louis Bourbon Festival on Cherokee Street and all around, he's excited about going into some of the haunted places and seeing what that's all about. So yeah, like the Demonal, the Lemp Mansions around there. That's the other thing I want to ask you right now before we get into our motivation. Where would you like us to spotlight spooky things that are coming up for Halloween? Because we're just, about a week and a half or so away from that. I'd love to do something, Tess. I'd love to do something for Halloween, a live show from somewhere. Do you want us to dress up, by the way? Do you want my entire team to dress up? If so, do you have any ideas of what me and Jim should be this year? Because I have no idea. I usually have something inside of me that makes me pull towards this costume or that costume. What do you think Jim and I should go as this year? And do we do something different for a party as opposed to online? One of my favorite things that we did in TV, even when my coworkers at Fox weren't doing it, I would dress up every year. Do you remember that? Do you remember me coming on and doing traffic in a Bugs Bunny costume, in a cow costume? Do you remember my time at Channel 5? I was a SWAT officer one year. I was Corella DeVille from the Dalmatians movie. I think that was the last one, actually, before I left there. Love it. It's absolutely my favorite thing to do, just to get into the spirit of it all and interact with your kids. Let's see. Michelle, loving the new promos. I know we've got a lot. Jim does get hangry. Hannah, by the way, as I mentioned, is on and she is moderating for us, dropping in a bunch of stuff. Okay, what are your ideas? What are your kids going to be, by the way? Because some people might be like me where they're still looking for something for them as an adult and their kids to be. I would think by now you might already have the kids' costumes underway, whether you bought it or I will ask you, how many of you buy the costumes and how many of you make them? I have to give major props to my mom. She would make all of our costumes and she'd go all out when we were little kids. Okay, I wanted to get some trending news for you. Rose says you were a multi-personality on TV. Loved you. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Yes. Yeah. Did traffic and then did news and did entertainment. Did our Monica's Motivational Moments, which is where today's going to come from. All right. This is some sad news. Did you see this? From One Direction, Liam Payne dead at the age of 31. This is so sad. He was actually found outside of a hotel in Buenos Aires. Former One Direction member Liam Payne, according to multiple reports, the 31-year-old singer died after falling from a third-story hotel balcony, in Buenos Aires. The AP is reporting that he fell into a courtyard of the Casa Sur Hotel in the trendy Palermo neighborhood of Argentina's capital. The singer was reportedly there attending a former bandmate's concert. Dozens of people gathered Wednesday night outside the hotel where he died. Police stood guard as a forensic investigator exited the hotel. Authorities said they're investigating the circumstances of his death and conducting an autopsy. The pop group One Direction came together and rose to fame after being featured on The X Factor back in 2010. I just love these shows and how they launch people's careers before taking a hiatus in 2015. Now, I heard one story this morning that said that police were called because of an aggressive acting guy that may have been on drugs or alcohol. But how sad. I mean, again, just you think about these people's lives and you don't know what's going on. You know, that's the whole thing about fame and fortune. You think, oh, I want that, right? Your kids grow up and want to be an actor or an actress. And here's where we get into some of the motivation. I want you to be successful. I want you to believe that you can be anything that you want to be. But sometimes it's scary to want to go into that field. There's so much pressure on them. And somebody said one time, you know, Would you want to, everywhere you go, be followed by the paparazzi? Would you never, ever have time again to yourself where you could just go out for a walk and just be peaceful with the dogs? I mean, their whole life changes. And I know people are going to say, oh, whatever, they make millions. I know, but is it worth it? That trade-off of millions for the mental health side. Michelle says Max is teenage angst for Halloween. I don't know what that is. Oh, wait, that's every year. Oh, okay. Shush. I thought that was an actual character. What is Max going to be? Or is he going to be anything? Is he too old now to dress up? That's the other thing. When did you and your kids decide that you were too old to dress up for Halloween? All right, sports news. The St. Louis Blues back in action after their home opener with Minnesota, where they lost, by the way, 4-1. It's the Islanders and the Blues today. Puck drops at 7 p.m. And did you see the forecast? How gorgeous it's going to be this weekend for a trip to Columbia. Mizzou hosting Auburn. Now, this one I absolutely love. And when I'm looking at the time of this game, I'm actually saying, why in the world did I not say yes to this? Yes, the Yuppie Puppy Gala is on Saturday. And yes, I am emceeing that and doing the auction. But dang it, I could have gone down to Columbia to see Mizzou and Auburn for an 11 o'clock kickoff and then made it back for the Yuppie Puppy Gala. Why didn't someone tell me that? I was not looking at the kickoff time and thinking, well, it's a 3 o'clock game. That's not going to happen. We absolutely could have done that. I don't know that I don't think tickets are available because it's homecoming weekend, isn't it? It's homecoming, I'm pretty sure. Mizzou and Auburn. Tigers against Tigers. My husband went to Auburn. I went to Mizzou. This one's going to be fun. So we'll watch it here. Actually, I'm going to get my makeup and hair done at 11 o'clock. So I'm going to have to try to watch or record some of it, come back, watch the rest of it, and then go to the gala. How many of you are going, by the way, in our immediate area? How many of you got your tickets? I cannot wait to do the live auction. We're talking about a Costa Rica trip, a bourbon trip in Louisville. And yes, it's Louisville, Kentucky. There is an opportunity, as I mentioned, to be a part of our show. So if you've got a business and you thought, I would love to promote my business, well, now you can give to Yuppie Puppies Forever Rescue and then be on the show and do that. Or you want to bring your kids on. You want your kids to be on TV and give them an opportunity. That's one of the items we'll be giving away. And there'll be a journal and a jacket in there as well. There's an opportunity for you to see firsthand what these unbelievable rescuers go through and spend a day with them and so much more. I mean, truly, they've got, I think, about 10 items, so I won't be killing my voice. 10 items for us to raise big money with the live auction, tons of silent auction items. And it's just going to be a lot of fun just to get all dressed up and have a good time. Margie Schrader, where are you from? Guess you're dressed up as the Addams Family. Yes, I've done that before. My mom actually was Morticia when I was a kid. Just an incredible costume. Marilyn, me and Leona and Nancy with Anne and Janice. Yes, you're coming to the gala. Thank you for that. Thank you for supporting them. So Michelle says that Max is done with dressing up. Yeah, that's what happens when you get into the teenage years. Margie is on Facebook. Where are you watching from? And yes, I have done the Addams Family before. In fact, I think I've told you this before, but I used to have on my answering machine, remember answering machines? I used to have the Addams Family play before I did this fun little spiel for you to leave a message. So yes, we did that already. Okay, are we all up to date? Yes. So news you can use, a little trending news, some sports news to get you ready. As you head into the weekend, by the way, I mentioned the Bourbon Festival. Any other big things going on this weekend that you want to give a shout out to as people make their plans? We'll obviously be consumed with watching football before we go to the gala on Saturday, but I think it's time to get out to Eckert's. I think it's time to go to a big winery outing. You know, we'll be back with Chuck with Defiance Ridge Vineyards next Wednesday doing our Wet Your Whistle Wednesday. Have you missed it? We haven't been on for a couple of weeks. Actually, we haven't been on since the 2nd when we came to you from Chuck's house. But there's 5 Wednesdays in this month, so we usually do every other. But since there's 5, we skipped a couple of weeks. We'll be back with him next Wednesday at 4 p.m., Wet Your Whistle Wednesday. And then on Thursday, we'll do Positive Talk Time, wrapping up, of course, how successful the gala was. If this gives me an opportunity to say, if you have someone that would like to be a part of Wet Your Whistle Wednesday, by the way, there are the alternate Wednesdays that your business could be a part of it. You've got maybe a really cool store that it doesn't have to just be wine, because if you remember when we first kicked it off with Clayton Winehouse, we were talking about bourbons and vodkas and gins and tequila. We actually started with tequila, wines. So we could do those on alternate weeks, and I might just start that with some really good wines and do it right by a bonfire. So on the weeks coming up where we don't have Chuck, as we go into November, if I can, we'll be going to Italy. So I might have to see if I can do one of those from Italy for you. A little wet your whistle from Piedmont, Italy. That would be a lot of fun. Okay, so topics or guests, by the way, that you'd like to see on the show, reach out to me about that as well. Lanterns and Legends, Marilyn says, on Main Street in St. Charles. Is that this weekend? That sounds fun. Margie says she's watching in Baldwin. Thank you. Again, any big festivals coming up this weekend, but winery wise, I like to designate a driver or have a private driver and bounce around to as many as possible. Are there any new ones that have opened up that I don't know about? Because we haven't been to St. Genevieve in a long time. St. Genevieve, going to obviously the Augusta, Defiance area, going to Washington. They've got some really good ones. Let's see. There's some really good ones, by the way, down south. Wild Sun Winery is wonderful. LaChance, Harold Hamby is a good friend of ours. He owns LaChance. They've got the main vineyard in DeSoto, and then they opened up the restaurant and winery per se, in Imperial, or in Kimmswick, I should say, in Kimmswick. So any new places that we haven't seen, let us know. 48th Annual Ozark Heritage Festival this weekend, Clearwater Lake area. Thank you, Rose. Yeah, give a shout out if you know of a festival or something to do this weekend, helping people out. Let's see, hopping over to Instagram. So Shane says, Pacific Witches and Warlocks Street Party with comedy and live band and street party. All right, let's give a shout out to the hotel that they own. Hopefully you saw the incredible show we did at the Landing Hub in Pacific. That's theirs. It's been open for the last 3 years. And until October 31st, you've got an opportunity to book the room for you and somebody else or your family. Do a little getaway. You get a % off when you use a code that has to do with The Real Monica Adams, as well as possibly winning the entire hotel. You have until October 31st for that. Have you heard about that? We had mentioned it for a while. Haven't brought that up in a little bit, but let me give them a shout out. Shane, thanks for watching, by the way. The Cigar Vault has all of those, he said. Pacific Witches and Warlocks Street Party with comedy, live band, and a street party. That sounds like a lot of fun. Shane, I know you're still on. Can you tell us, is that all weekend long, or is it just Saturday or just Sunday? Is it Friday, Saturday, Sunday? Let us know. Cigar Vault, go by and support them if you can, please. All right, let's take a quick break. When we come back, let's talk about how you move through these phases. You've got to have a vision. You got a goal in mind, but you have to have an action plan to ever get to true success. So if you're sitting at home saying, I am struggling, I don't want to leave the house because fill in the blank, you got to help me with this. Because if we were doing a workshop, and I'm going to tell you where you can join me on one coming up in December, I want to help you through this. I don't want it to be another year coming to an end where you feel failure. I want you to take these action steps, as you see, going up the ladder, moving from vision to goal to action to success. How do you ever get to success? Well, you've got to believe, and you've got to start making a plan of action. So we'll talk about that when we return.
Welcome to the mobile Monica version of the Real Monica Adams Show at my favorite restaurant.
There's something about a coffee house that's just very warm and welcoming.
Gives you that sense of community.
What are you most proud of since you've opened?
I cry easily. I'm thankful for everybody here.
You opened the door during the middle of the pandemic. You got the best Italian restaurant in the United States. Here in St. Louis, you put us on the map.
Does it scare you? Go through fear?
Terrifying.
So how do you get past the fear?
We find something to laugh about.
And you can book The Real Monica Adams Show. We're going to tell you about that in just a second. Let me first tell you about our friends that are inside this wonderful building. 425 North New Ballas in this suite, Suite 206. It's Elemental Aesthetics. And we'll be joined by the beautiful Jennifer Warman-Ross next Wednesday. She's on with us every other Wednesday talking about all of the different services that they have to take care of not just the skin, as you would imagine when you hear the word aesthetics, but the mind, the body, the soul. When I talk about the body, if you've been struggling, and again, we're getting ready to talk about how you get your way to success. If you've been struggling with weight loss, you've been up and down the yo-yo dieting, it's just not working for you. They've got weight loss consultations. And I know a lot of people have looked into saying, well, maybe I'm insulin resistant. Maybe I've got maybe there's a blood sugar issue. Well, they'll find out all of that for you as they do the consultation. They've got IV hydration therapy, as you see right there. They, of course, have the facials. They've got all the things to take care of your beautiful skin. Elemental Aesthetics, 314-279-6069. So many levels of things that they can do for you. Just reach out to them. You want to do IPL? You want to do the cool therapy on your face? I forget what that's called. Is it cool? Cool something, but they're saying that one is the one that a lot of people love. I've been talking about, again, that salt room where they pump in the salt. You just got to experience these things, as well as that bed. I mean, if you have somebody that you know that has ADD, ADHD, whether diagnosed or self-diagnosed, why not use these services? And even an opportunity for you to go and get your nails done. Red light therapy, which you'll see here with Jen in just a second. Not just red light therapy that everybody's been hearing about in the news, but she said right there, she's pointing to this little sauna area where you can change the color of the therapy. And as I mentioned, getting your nails done as well. Elemental Aesthetics, thank you for being a part of the Real Monica Adams Show. We absolutely love having you as a part of us. Again, give them a call today, set it up, or go to elementalaesthetics.com to book for yourself. My team, Jenny, I'm on right now. Stop texting me. All right. It is 7:46. Tessa said, stop, Jen. 7:46. Welcome back to the Real Monica Adams Show. Love having you as a part of the show. Let me go back and look if there's any other big events. Linda says, Charlottesville Winery. Oh my gosh. Yes. Between Farmington and St. Genevieve is really nice. Great place to view the fall colors. And thank you, by the way. It's like you just set it up for me to talk about that. So Matt Chambers on Channel 4 was mentioning that you are just now, if you haven't already, starting to see the colors change in the trees. So I'm looking out. I see some yellows. I see a lot of green still, but he says in the next 2 weeks, we are going to see those beautiful fall colors really pop out. So this is where I'm wanting to make a trip to the wineries. My favorite thing to do. Now, I've always wanted to go on a beautiful motorcycle ride. So my thought is to get something set up where we stay the night, not have to drive back, do the beautiful ride, and then park the bike, go to the wineries. Jen, dang it, stop. Go to the wineries and designate a driver to be able to take us back to where we're staying. Please be careful with that. If you think about 94 or that road on 100 in Washington, or even going out 55 to St. John, Farmington, you've got to please take care of yourself. Do not drink and drive. All right. There you go. Right, Richard? Tell her, Jenny Egan, stop texting. I am trying to do a show here. All right. So how do we go from this step to that step? Failure to success. Boy, that's such a powerful image. And look how dipped down failure is. How many of you feel that you're on the left side of that? How many of you feel that you're right smack dab in the middle, that you are wanting to take the leap, but you're so scared that you're not going to make it to the other side, and that you're going to fall down and you're going to have even lower level of failure, like literally hitting rock bottom? Or how many of you are going to say, Monica, I've actually tried. I've been trying to do these steps. And you say the word try. No, I'm going to replace that word and say do every day. Pick yourself back up. Do it, because what is at the end of that is so worthwhile. But you've got to set a vision. You know how big I am on vision boards, or taking all those thoughts that are just running around in your brain and they feel like it's scattered all over the place. And you're trying to figure out, how do you get to a true goal action plan that leads you to success? Well, you've got to take the steps to do so. So have any of you gone into workshops? Have any of you sat down with a true business coach, a life coach, someone who is in the successful side of what you're wanting for your life? Or are you just trying to go at it alone? If it hasn't worked for you, then that is maybe what needs to shift. Here we are, October 17th, coming very close to the end of a year again, getting ready for 2025. You've got time, folks, to not wait for 2.5 more months before we get into a new year to start making an action plan to go from failure to success. So we're going to break it down for you. As we look at this image, the success aspect, just look what it says. Hard work. Are you willing to put in the work? Persistence. Are you saying, I'm going to put in the hard work today, but it didn't work for me, I'm giving up already, right? It's that whole immediacy aspect of what people are, oh my gosh, I want that so bad. Do you? Or do you only want it for a time period? Are you willing to do the work day in and day out? Get up early. Do the hydration, do the workout, eat healthy. Are you willing to do all the things that it takes to get to success? Hard work, okay? Persistence, late nights. And I don't mean late nights in binge drinking, late nights not getting good sleep. I'm talking about working late, getting up early, making sure that maybe you get a nap in so that you do feel refreshed. You don't have a foggy brain. Are you willing to go through rejection to know that there's success on the other side of it? Are you willing to say, this person closed the door on me, this person closed the door on me, until the door finally opens? Sacrifices. Think about that word alone. What does sacrifice mean to you? Sacrifices in the beginning years of opening a business, sacrifices in the late nights, sacrifices in saying no, that you can't go to this outing or that outing because you are building the success for you and your family. Discipline, one of my favorite words. Do you have discipline? Are you able to take criticism? I know one of my friends hates constructive criticism. She's just like, why can't we just say we're giving help in leadership? I understand that. But criticism, you got to have thick skin for that. Doubts, okay, they will enter your mind, but do they stay there? Failure to success and taking risks. Looking at that slide, what stands out for you the most, by the way? Okay, because in our final 10 minutes, I want to just sprinkle in what we can do together. And I'm just going to throw this out there. When Michelle comes back from Italy, I'm going to have her very first job to work on putting the tickets on sale for all of you that want to attend the Feel the Authenticity workshop. We have the date. We have the time. It is Sunday, December 8th from 1 to 3. Healthy food, drinks, and then about 25 of us coming together and being our authentic self, stripping everything down, being as raw as possible. And I'm going to get real with you. Some of it's going to be hard knocks to say you don't want it bad enough. And that might even bring tears to you. But I mean that. People are envious of someone who's successful or, as I mentioned before, who are blessed. People say, you're blessed, Monica. You have an incredible relationship with your husband. Do you not think that we work on that? Do you not think that we set visions, the vision board for what we want in our relationship? 9 years into our marriage, almost 12 years back together. Do you think there's not ups and downs just like each and every one of you have? Yes, but we believe in each other. We respect each other. And that's the type of relationship we have. By the way, respect is the most important thing that I just said there. Do you respect your partner, your spouse, the person you're dating, the person you're married to, the person you were married to, and it's an ex-husband, but you show respect so that your kids see that it's amicable in the way you want to have the relationship? Or do you constantly bash that person? How is that healthy for you or for your kids? Find your way back to some type of normalcy there. Linda says Charlottesville has a cool cabin that you can stay in. Oh, very cool. Also, Chalmette. So Chalmette is where we almost got married, by the way. I know Hank very well. Did he sell, by the way? I thought I had heard that he was going to sell Chalmette. Great views of the fall colors. That sounds good. Jim's talking about wanting to do the drive on 55. There's a Grand Canyon between my mountain of success. Okay. A Grand Canyon. Interesting. So you feel that is it overwhelming for you sometimes, Richard? Do you feel that you're going rim to rim? Do you feel like it's never ending, that it does the temperature drop, that it gets cold and you're not ready for it? You dressed that day for the Grand Canyon of short sleeves and t-shirts, and suddenly you dropped down and didn't realize it was going to be bitterly cold, right? So then we do it again. We decide to pick ourselves back up, and this time we're more prepared. I love to use analogies in life. Does that make sense to you? Does anybody else feel like Richard does, where it's a Grand Canyon? It's so vast. But think about that word I just used. This world is vast, which means what? Possibilities are endless. So many things that you can do, but you've got to believe. So if somebody else is successful in the field that you want, wouldn't you surround yourself with them instead of the people that you see that are not successful? That is truly the problem I see in so many, that they want success, yet everything they're doing, their walk of life, the people they hang around, the way they eat, the way they are addicted to things that are not serving them, yet they want this. Well, that's not putting in what I just said, which is the hard work, the persistence, the dedication. You want it to be handed to you. You want the gift of it all, but you don't want to do all these things. You're underwater. See what's underwater and see the mountain of success. So yes, we do every day have to walk up the mountain, and it gets clearer and clearer, and it's more beautiful to see the vision from the top of the mountain. Risks, failure, doubts, criticism, discipline, sacrifice, rejections, late nights, persistence, hard work, right? Tessa just said, preach, mom, preach. By the way, I'm going to end with this particular one. I love Tessa. Stop. The road to success can feel long and winding, but it is there for you. I'm asking you one more time. Do you believe that you deserve success? Because I'm going to ask that a lot on December 8th. Authentic selves, bear it all. Come to the workshop. Be ready to change your life like you've never changed it before. Believe that you deserve it. Because I will tell you, so many people that I have coached over the years have said, well, sometimes maybe I don't even believe that I deserve it. Sometimes I think the people who are successful, that they deserve it more than me. I never understand that comment. Everybody deserves whatever it is that they want in their life. You want a better relationship? You want people say perfect. There's no perfect spouse. You want to have a great relationship. Are you willing to be the half of the relationship that is going to put in the work and find the person that will put in the work on the other side? Now, people say it's a 50-50. No, it's not. It's 100-100. Okay, change that mindset and maybe you have a better relationship. It's not 50-50 because then it means I'm thinking you're only half-assing it. Give your all, which is 100 plus. You give your all in your marriage. You give your all as a parent. You give your all as a kid. You give your all as an employee. I can go on and on. Do you give your all is the question I have. Richard said, I reached that mountain of success 20 years ago. I kind of fell off and I can't get back on. Yes, you can. You can, but you got to surround yourself with the right people. Yes, Michelle, your niece is being a brat. I agree with that. Michelle, by the way, is still in Italy. Her final day, are you sad? Her final day is tomorrow. And if I can do this while I'm talking to you, I can go ahead and split my brain. She sent me some pictures from the fashion area, I believe, and it really got me excited. I'll show you some of these as I'm talking to you, but let me just address what Richard just said. Yes, it's true. Some people may look at their past walk of life and say, I was successful. It's also a dangerous thing to think of getting into, which is the stripping down of where the success came from. You know, me and Dr. Lehman talked about this in the past. And he's like, Monica, I truly believe that you have your hand on something so powerful, which is to sit in front or stand really in front of big audiences and talk to men and women alike and say, have you been here? Are you here right now? And do you feel that you want to stay in this job so bad because you're so afraid of what is on the other side? The other side believing that when you strip off the title of whatever it was that you were, that you're thinking, well, I can't possibly continue on in life because all I knew was president, CEO. You know, you think of, let's go to the athletic side because that's what Dr. Lehman knows. He said, look at the star quarterback or the kicker, the punter, whatever that wins the game, right? They are living in those glory days of not wanting it to end and saying, I want to go back to that. I know a dear friend, unfortunately, took his life because he couldn't deal with it. And this is what I want to save. I want to save each and every one of you that have ever thought, I'm not worthy anymore. I don't have people looking at me as the great athlete that I was. I'm not in college or professional, right? These professional athletes, what do they do when they suddenly are not that anymore? But it was just an extension of you. People that identify only as that star athlete or as the president of a company or the CEO of a company or whatever high level they are, when that title is taken away, or here, I can use it. Why did we work so feverishly on making sure that when I left TV, that my brand was represented so high in putting the website together, putting so many aspects of the brand together so that there was a beautiful transition? However, it is an extension of who I am, right? Me being in TV news was a part of me. It didn't make up all of me. It was what I did for a living. And then now it is this talk show host. It is your personal trainer, possibly. And yes, I do have room for more if you are truly wanting to take your life back. Personal trainer, life coach, motivational speaker, MC, auctioneer, design and wardrobe consultant. And by the way, we still have an opportunity. If you want to design something, now we're getting ready to talk about fashion. You want to design something so amazing for yourself. You want to reward yourself. Maybe you've done this great weight loss and the clothes aren't fitting you and you think, I'd love to have something custom made. We're doing right now where I do my custom clothing. We are doing the Italian fabrics, which I love, against the kind of the UK fabrics, and it is buy two, get one free. That's almost unheard of in the custom world, by the way. Buy two, get one free. And that means any outfits. You want to do suits, you want to do jackets, you want to do a jacket slack, whatever, buy two, get one free, and custom shirts for you, guys, girls. Buy four, get two free until Halloween. So yes, if you didn't know, I do fashion, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that right now. And when we come back, we're going to see the fashion area, because I just did it quickly for you, of where Michelle is.
Discover your full potential with a personalized styling experience. Designing, customizing, and transforming the looks of men and women. Revamp your individual style and embrace what makes you, you. That's real confidence.
Thank you to Todd Michaels, by the way, for being the voiceover on that. Speaking of voiceover, I am teaching private voiceover classes. Private now, because we did the introductory to that. Reach out to me, info@TheRealMonicaAdams.com, if you want to know more about that, because a friend came to the house last night and she said, Monica, I think I want to get into that. You've actually empowered me to think I'm 72 years old. And she's like, it's too late, isn't it? And I said, it's never too late. Never too late, folks. This is the inspiration I'm trying to give to you today. Never too late. Before I talk about this, let me just come back on screen and tell you, people who believe in themselves at any point in their lives can make the change. So a 70-year-old started running for the first time, and here she is 100 years old now, 30 years later, running and setting records in the marathon world. She didn't start, though, until she was 70 years old. So if you believe you want to be a voiceover side hustle, not actually, the career, but doing it on the side, believe in yourself. Do it. Okay. So Michelle is on. She can type in the comments for you of where she is in Sicily. So yes, she sent these to me believing, I'm sure, that I wanted to see this so bad because I love fashion. Dior, Louis Vuitton, on and on and on and on. I can't wait. I mean, that's one of the reasons I should say, are going to Milan in advance. And it is so that we can do the fashion side of it all. I cannot wait. So Michelle, let us know where you are in these pictures, please. And then if I pulled it, let me see. Yes, I did. Let me put this one up on the screen real quick. Michelle, I don't know if she told the guys that my husband, if that was her if she told the guys that are going to appear in this picture with her, that she has a best friend whose husband is a former SWAT officer and a lieutenant with the St. Louis County Police. But in this, her subject, when I opened it up this morning, said, "Arrest me, please." So this is Michelle in Italy, surrounded by some fine-looking gentlemen, and thank them for their service, by the way. All right, let's see. Where are we? Let me come back on screen with you. And so Michelle says, yes, I'm sad we are leaving tomorrow, 4 a.m. Oh, wow, that's early. Just stay up. Just don't even go to bed. Just keep going. So Michelle said that this is the city center of Taormina, a few blocks from the hotel, the mix of fashion shops and ancient architecture. Well, I see from a lot of the things I'm looking at that that's what we'll be up against as well in Milan. And then when we go to Turin, kind of the same way. No, I just approached them asking to be arrested. Oh, you're such a goof. All right, everybody. So I hope you got the inspiration that you were looking for. I hope that you understand what I'm saying to these steps. But again, if you're not willing to do it, then you have to be willing to be okay with not being successful. If you don't want to put in the hard work, setting the vision, putting the goal in place, doing the action of going through it, and then having ultimate success. And I'm talking about you starting to journal of what it is that you're wanting to be more successful. Is it personal growth? Is it personal development? Is it professional growth? Do you want to be a better employee? Do you want to be your own boss? Are you willing to walk and finally jog and run the road of success? So you can take all of these things that are underwater and pull them to the top so you don't feel like you're drowning anymore, and walk up that mountain and continue to enjoy the beautiful views that are there for you for success. Those are the questions that I have for you this morning. All right. So you got a little mix of motivation, some inspiration, some aha moments, I hope. Take this, share this with others that are on your own social media so that we can just continue to spread this. Let people know that this is what we do. I just sprinkled in about 15 minutes of it, but this is what I can do for you. You want to be life coached? You want me to personal train you? You want to come to that workshop? Tickets will be going on sale very soon. Probably near the end of October, we'll put those in place. That way you'll have about a month and a half before December 8th when we'll do the Feel the Authenticity workshop. Girls, all right, must be dear. I'm going to wrap up. Enjoy your day. Gosh dang it. Enjoy your day. Have an absolutely gorgeous one. And remember, over the shouting of the bark, everybody, be kind. God bless you all.